Okay, great. We're going to have Erica Wheeler, Brittney Sykes, and Derek Fisher today. Please raise your hands at this time. We'll start with Chris Camello with Nightcast Media.
You're mute.
Hey Eric, how you doing?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. So I just wanted to just talk about your reaction to the trade yesterday, because you had talked about during media day that you were looking after the rookies, and Stephanie Watts being one of them and being the guard and whatnot. I just wanted to kind of get your reaction on the trade.
Oh man, it's a business. You know, things happen every day. You know, I don't know what Fish is thinking. That's not my part of the job. My part of the job is to play basketball. But I know Steph will do well. We actually getting a great pick. Gabby is who she is. We know she can play the 1 through the 4. We happy to have her, although she's not playing this season. But we happy to have her on our team.
John W. Davis.
When we all know what the final roster is, what's going to be your message to the 11 other players that you're going to be playing with this season?
We here to work. We got goals, within the team, and let's do our job and let's accomplish our goals. It's a long season. Like Fish said earlier today, the food not gonna be ready on Friday. We stirring up a pot, we putting ingredients in, we taking ingredients out. So we just gotta keep pushing and keep building, and just staying together.
Hugh Hopkins.
Hi Erica, thanks for taking time to talk to us today. I've heard from a few players and coaches going into the season that the league has great momentum at the moment. I was wondering, what do you think needs to happen in the next few years to continue building on that momentum, and how would you like to see the WNBA grow?
I think we're moving in the right direction, right now, even with the CBA, us having more money, the WNBA backing us up with the whole Black Lives Matter things. I think that just, as we keep growing to next year, to even, year 26, just, keep more television. Put us on TV more. We saw the ratings during NCAA. We saw the ratings when we were in the bubble. I think that's the most important part. Let the world keep seeing us.
Brady Clark for SB Nation.
Hey Erica.
How you doing, man?
I'm wondering after the game over the weekend, obviously when you signed with LA, you're probably looking forward to playing in Staples Center and all that, but with it being a weird year and kind of the makeshift court at the convention center, what did you feel of the court, of the vibe, the whole backdrop situation? What were your thoughts on that?
Man, we're basketball players. We can play outside, and we doing what we love to do. Of course, I would love to play in the Staples Center, but we still living the dream. We still playing the game that we love, and we still the court in the convention center is still amazing. So for me, I had no real feelings about it. I was just happy to play against another team.
Couple more here. Go to Sylvia Guevara.
Hi Erica, how are you?
How you doing?
Good. You have 2 games under your belt right now, preseason with the new team. What's something that you can learn throughout these 2 games that you could improve on?
Passing the ball. I just over the years I've been the playmaker, scorer, and the point guard at the same time. So just getting used to, making the quick decisions. Knowing that I have a post player that's open that can score, knowing that the shooter is over there wide open by herself versus being so into myself. So just not being so indecisive, just making quick reads, whatever the defense give me, just play off of that.
Time for 2 more, and just a quick shout out to Sparks. We're excited to announce our new broadcast team today. Rashawn Haylock and Ross Golden Wude, so we'll fittingly work them in right now for our last 2 questions. We'll start with Rashawn.
Hey Erica.
How you doing, man?
Doing all right. Can you just expand on that a little bit? You guys showcased a lot of versatility. There were different players out there facilitating on Saturday. Just how you balance that going back and forth from being a facilitator versus looking to get yours.
I think that it's amazing to have other wings that can bring the ball up. I'm not just constantly dribbling, because that's what I'm used to. Even when I'm overseas, I'm constantly dribbling. I have to make every play. Here I don't have to do that. So for me, being able to get the ball, dribble one time and kick it up, or come off a pick and roll is either my shot or hit the post or hit the wing is refreshing, but also I'm still in between. But I'll be ready by Friday, I'll tell you that.
And last for Erica, we'll go over to Roz.
Hey Erica, super excited to be on the call for your games this season.
Of course, happy to have you.
I mean, everything you're saying right now is really interesting about kind of knowing, which role, which hat you're wearing in that moment. Coming into this season, I'm curious about what did you work on? What aspects did you work into your game for this season?
Just slowing down, really just slowing down and seeing the game differently. Slowing the game down in my head because I'm super fast. I use my speed for everything. One quick move and I'll just go. But being able to just change the pace and slow myself down because I can pass and I can shoot. So just being able to slow down, just change the pace. I did, and I hated it. But it's also helping my game so I can see the next option. I can see the second and the third defender. So it's really helping my game just to change the pace.
Thanks, Erica.
All right, thank you. Thank you guys for being on the call,
Brittney
man.
Sykes will be next. We'll get started now. Questions for Brittney Sykes. Today's media availability is sponsored by Busy Heart Seltzer and Zen Water. Right there, both Molson Coors beverages. We'll start with John W. Davis.
Refreshing.
Hey, Brittany, how you doing?
What's going on?
What's up? What did you like about what you were able to do on in the preseason game? What do you want to improve on? And then also, are you going to sign your son up as an emotional support vet so he can come to the games?
Oh no. As for Shepard, he's going to go back home. He's a lot, and I wish he could. He is an emotional support animal for my lady. So shout out to Shep. But as for the scrimmages, I like how, as a team, and for myself, we stayed aggressive. We were the aggressors. And I think something to improve on personally is just those first two steps. After a turnover or after a shot goes up, those two steps in looking at the ball versus running towards or back on defense. So that's something I'm looking forward to working on because I like to watch a little bit too much. So, yeah.
Dorothy Gentry with The Athletic.
Hi, I want to ask you, what has basketball taught you that carries over into the other areas of your life?
Basketball, one thing that it has taught me that you can never, I mean, it's cliche, but you can literally never judge a book by its cover. For example, you can have players who are like Sylvia or a BG or an Alyssa Thomas, who are very aggressive players on the court, but if you talk to them out off the court, they're so sweet, so soft-spoken, and you just never know that. You can't really judge someone off of how they play or how they act on the court because you never know what's going on behind closed doors. So that's one big thing that whenever I go up against an opponent that's a little different or I haven't seen before, I always think, they might be polar opposite of what they present to you on the court. So just treat everybody with respect.
Miriam Swanson, LA Daily News.
Such a good answer. Thanks, Brittany. You mentioned the other day that one of your motivations for playing basketball was kids, and the fact that kids are looking up to you. I made me wonder, who are some of your favorite players coming up?
Man, honestly, anybody who played hard. I was always that kid. I could never pick one or two people. I like players who had those characteristics and those intangibles that play hard. You don't have to tell them to give effort. You don't have to tell them to give attitude or energy. They just played hard. And you have the typical answers, the Kobe's, LeBrons, and all those. But I was also a big fan of Tweety Nolan. Once I was in college, I kind of got to watch a little bit of clips on her, and they said that we were kind of similar. So shout out to Tweety. Shout out to the 5'9" guards with the block shots.
Brittany, you obviously talk a lot about your defense and pride yourself on that in the court. With the season starting later this week, how do you feel the team is at a defensive standpoint? are you happy with where the team is going into the season opener?
Quote me. It's scary. It's scary. Like, our defense is that scary. We are still working out some kinks, but it is scary to see what our defense is about to look like. I think we were, top 3? They said we were top 3 last year? Yeah, so we're trying to be top 2, not 2. That's our goal. That's always our goal. To just be the best defensive team. We're trying to be that, and we have the people to do that.
Go to Rashawn Haylock.
Hey, Brittany.
What's up?
Sticking with the defense, how can you give us some insight into how you prepare on that end of the floor with your individual matchups you may have on any given night?
Just me? Like, how do I prepare?
Yeah, how do you prepare?
I mean, I don't want to give away too many of my secrets on how I lock players down. But one thing I do look at is analytics, in the sense of where they shoot the ball from the most. In the sense of where's their sweet spots, what spots do they really don't like coming off of. We can get down to the intricacies of they shoot better going right, left, than left, right. Like, I'm looking at all of those when I'm pushing you off of pick and rolls, when we're coming off of down screens and pin downs. I'm looking at all that. How do you respond to me shoving you off the screen? How do you respond to other players shoving you off the screen? Like, any and every little thing that I can get on you that I can use to my advantage, I want that. Because in my head, I'm thinking that a team is doing that to us, is doing it to me. So why not do it to them?
Time for 2 more. We'll go to Hugh Hopkins.
Hi Brittany, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today. Last year, the league it achieved great things with the Black Lives Matter messages and the Say Your Name campaign. The work is not over, of course. So how would you like to see the WNBA build on the success of that this season?
I mean, to keep pushing. Like, we can't backpedal. We got to keep moving forward, and I think we're doing a great job of that. Do we want more hashtags? No, we don't. But at the same time, when things do arise, know that the WNBA, we're behind it, and we're pushing, and we're trying to make things better. It's never a thing of, because it's hot right now. Like, we're still saying her name. We are still saying everybody's name. And we wanted to keep it that way, and we want to start to get rid of having to say all of these names, because it's not fair, it's not right, and that's what needs to be done.
I'll start when Brady asked about the defense. It froze for a moment, and I feel like that was a really good quote, so just want to go back down real fast. Brady, if you can ask that one more time.
Yeah, Brittany, sorry, the audio just cut out on you at the beginning of your answer about the team defense. You said, quote me, and then I suspect you said something that I really wanted to quote you on.
It's scary.
It's scary? Perfect, thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
All right, last one, Roz Golden Wude.
Hey Brittany.
What's up?
What's up? Just wanted to ask about what you worked on and added to your game in this offseason, specifically on the offensive side.
Okay, I guess I can let the cat out of the bag now, Matt. So this year, going into my game, I tried to step outside the box, and for players, we don't realize we need something in our game until somebody has stopped everything else that we're good at. And for me, I tried to get ahead of the game and start working on my floaters. I've always been in that little 12 to 15, maybe 17-foot area where the bigs are stepping up, and it's not really a jump shot, it's not really a layup, it's like legit a floater or a pass. So I've been really, really working on the off season, my floaters, and getting my passes from out of the second defender's hand.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for all your questions. Thank you.
We have General Manager and Head Coach Derek Fisher. You can raise your hand in the chat at this time. We'll start with Rashawn.
Hey, Coach.
What's up, Rashawn?
What's going on? What did you think about the pace on Saturday? To your liking? Would you like it to be quicker? What were your thoughts?
It was okay. I thought we had a couple stretches where we, I think played at the pace that we hopefully can sustain, throughout the course of a game. But at this point in the preseason, and our players are still, building their conditioning levels and, just getting accustomed to being, back out on the court in that way in a game setting. So it was okay. I think it can be faster. I think we can convert, in particular in that game when, we forced, 27 total turnovers for 30 points, but I believe there were additional opportunities for us to convert, in the open court, or even if it is a made shot. Like we just want teams to really pay for not being able to get back and get set. So we have a lot of work to do in that area, but it was decent for the second time, competing in game-like situations.
Brady? Hey Derek, just wondering if you can talk a little bit more about yesterday's trade. What was your thinking, your thought process behind that move? Was Gabby someone that you had kind of had your eye on for a while, or was it a little bit more of just taking an opportunity to use your roster crunch and build the team up for future years?
I think it was a combination of those two things. I think Gabby is a player that I think every team in the league has had their eye on because she's really good. At 24 years old and the potential that she has to continue to get better, each year it was just a really great opportunity for us to add someone that, we feel like can help us to continue to grow and build this team into a team that's competing for, championships year in and year out, and not just on paper, right? Or because of, what her name is or our names, but because of how we play. And Gabby is the type of player that plays the game the way we want to play it. She's physical, she's strong, she can play different positions, she can guard and defend different positions. She's a winner, at the highest levels. She's been coached by some of the best coaches, so there's just a lot of things about her that we're really excited to have the opportunity to bring into our fold. The timing, obviously with, how, things played out in terms of the season suspension and kind of what our future looked like in Chicago. I think that may have impacted the timing of having this opportunity, but it wasn't an accident that, we tried to make this happen when the opportunity and the timing were right.
Miriam?
Hey Coach, thanks for that. I'm wondering, have you talked much with Gabby yet, in communication with her, and sort of like what's her reaction?
We have we've been in contact and communication, as well as some of her future teammates here, I think that she's excited for the opportunity. She's looking forward to being able to get to work with us at the right time. We're definitely going to remain in communication with her on a regular basis, and when schedules and calendar and league rules allow, we're going to try to have as much contact as we can under the circumstances. But most of her time over the next few months will be with our French national team, which is a great opportunity for players. And I think in this league it's always going to be a challenge for teams to plan around, but it's also what makes the W unique and really special. It's more of a global game than people realize, and many players around the league, including Gabby, Maria Vadiva, even some of our own players that have Team USA experience. It's the national team opportunity is just a part of the fabric of this league that you can't avoid. So we're going to respect those, at every chance that we get, and I think it presents opportunities, right? I think it reinforces the importance of developing all of your players, so that if you do have one or two players that have those type of commitments, you can still compete, to win, and that's what we're going to try and do this year and every year moving forward.
Christina Williams, Girls Talk Sports.
Hey Coach, thank you for being here with us. As you begin to think about the final roster for the 2021 season, what can you tell us about the identity of this LA Sparks group that you want to put together?
Yeah, I mean, I think, in terms of like our identity as we, look towards Wednesday and some of the tough decisions that we'll have to make, I think for us, we want to get back to like the hard work and the process of becoming great. I think because of the rich tradition of the Sparks organization, the championships, 25 years, 20 plus playoff appearances, I think we've come to expect and almost feel entitled to have an opportunity to play for a championship. And so I think our identity moving forward will be that while that will always be the goal and objective, our attitude and our approach to our work on a daily basis will be, it's going to be the type of group that treats it like you've never won anything, that we're that hungry and scrappy, and that we're willing to fight harder than our opponents to get the victory that night, as though we've never won anything before. And so when we put this training camp roster together, when we thought about the players we wanted to target in free agency, that's really what we wanted to get to. And we wanted to move away from the assumption that if you had certain players on your team based on her name or her stats, that automatically means you're going to win. And that's just not the case. Teams that win championships, they're willing to work harder than everybody else and have more discipline and have more commitment to the details. And, that's what we want. Our identity, we want to look like a team, to sum all that up. Like, it should look like the Sparks play together, and that there's no separation or disjointedness between the members of our team, that we're all one group.
For two more, we'll go to Chris.
Hey Derek, how are you this morning?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to kind of get your reaction on the trade, because was this kind of like your first move, making a deal with a player that you have already coached, even for a short time in Stephanie, and then having to break the news that, hey, we're kind of moving on and going in a different direction. I just wanted to get your reaction. Like, was that difficult? Was it awkward, considering this is your first year as GM? Just kind of give me your reaction on that.
Yeah, no, I don't, it's never easy, in my opinion, to tell someone that, like, you're not going to be here anymore for whatever the reason, right? Like, there's a human being involved there, and I think you have to, even though certain decisions come with the job, like, you still have to approach it with a level of compassion and respect for what other people experience, that factors into the way you treat it. And so with Stephanie, that was the communication yesterday, that we just thanked her for everything. There wasn't anything that she necessarily did that made this happen. Like, she's done everything that we asked her to do, carried herself well for a first year player, a lot of professionalism, and we think she has a bright future in this league. But this was an opportunity for us to add a player like Gabby that we feel like can accelerate the plans that we have for the next couple of years in a really impactful way. And we wish Stephanie the best. And so it wasn't really awkward. I think I've come to the realization that a lot of these things will come with the job. And Wednesday's fast approaching. There'll be really tough decisions to make in some of those situations, because some decisions may not involve trades, and it just may involve telling a player that we're not moving forward with her on our final roster. So it's a part of it. I think these ladies understand that, and that's why they deserve a lot of credit for being here you know, knowing that day was going to come at some point. So, you know, I'll have more gray hairs for sure by the end of the season as we continue to have to make some of these decisions, but it's a part of it. So, still thankful for it.
Last one for today, we'll go to Ross.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, Ross. How are you?
Good. I wanted to follow up on something you were saying about, you know, championship teams and, you know, what are other aspects that you specifically remember about what separates championship teams from those that don't get there?
Yeah, I think one thing that comes to mind, and we had some of it like today in practice, right? It's like like in practice, it's important to have, like you need to have a group that's willing to make each other uncomfortable in practice. That like somebody, you know, no matter who starts or who's coming off the bench or what the roles are or whatever, like you need people out there that will embarrass the other person if they don't bring their best that day. That like they'll talk trash back and forth, like I'm gonna push and elbow her in her back or whatever it is, that like if we're scrimmaging and it's 4-on-4, 3-on-3 or 5-on-5, like my team is gonna win, not yours. And that's, you know, what I remember from a lot of my experiences, like we had players on our team that just because it was Kobe Bryant or, you know, Pau Gasol or Shaq or whoever, like the other guys weren't just going through the motions, you know, just letting them do whatever they wanted to do. It was competitive, like highly competitive. And that's why we put this training camp roster together the way we did. And I think that it's created that type of environment for us so far. And hopefully our final roster can also represent that concept that whether it's a first year player in Jasmine Walker or Rilla Garantis or third or fourth year player in Sydney Weiss or Nia Coffey or Bria Hall, whoever it is, like that, there is no, you know, empty possession or opportunity to go and prove that you belong here. And that's what I really remember at a really high level. Like I just remember teammates, like guys like Josh Powell and you know, Jordan Farmar and Luke Walton and Sasha Vujacic was really an amazing dude, but a very annoying dude. Like he pissed Kobe off a lot. He pissed me off a lot. But we got after it. You know, we knocked people over. Like it wasn't easy. And so that's what we hope to build. Something that's hard and not easy to be great. And you know, we hope we're getting more and more players one at a time that are built that way.